Hello and welcome to the Daily Sigh. Today is Tuesday, February 17th. My name is Kasim. I go live every single business day at 6 p.m. Eastern in order to give you everything that I think matters in the entrepreneurial world in the space of business, AI, markets, policy, etc. What etc. means is, I don't really know. It's just like whatever else I think might be important. If it feels like I'm stalling, it's because I am. I didn't have my notes pulled up in time and I hit live, and now here we are, you and I together. So you're putting up with me stalling. I'm putting up with you looking back at me like you don't know what's going on. And that's okay. I think between the two of us, we're going to be able to navigate this together just fine. Bam, we got it. First story of the day comes from This Week in Startups authors Matt Wolf. The Agents War Ignites. OpenAI hires OpenClaw founder, which y'all is crazy. Like, this is straight out of Nick Fury's superhero movie. If you're not familiar, OpenClaw, previously ClaudeBot, previously MoltBot, is this agentic AI tool that lives on your desktop and can do all the things that like 1998 Star Trek movies promised us AI could do. It was the very first time we've seen something like AGI, and those aren't my words. That came from the Moonshot podcast. As a matter of fact, Peter Diamandis and his Happy Clan of Nerds called it Jarvis. They're like, this is the closest thing to Jarvis we've ever had. Super cool application, rife with massive security risks. And to the point to where everybody who I knew that actually knows what the hell they're talking about was telling me, do not run this thing unless you know, if you really understand what you're doing. So that's OpenClaw. Flash forward, somehow Sam Altman has conned this guy, Peter Steinberger, into going and working for OpenAI. Hopefully, Peter doesn't end up killing himself with Uber Eats on the way. How about that, Sam? Not that that's ever happened to an OpenAI engineer in the past that was ostensibly going to give up the game on very important and special secrets. And that's the game that we're playing, y'all. That's how important this is when there are a bunch of questionable suicides. OpenAI has hired Peter Steinberger, the founder of the viral open source agent framework OpenClaw, in a move to dominate the emerging agent layer of AI. This is a big deal because OpenClaw is the closest thing to agentic AI we've really had. I guess the exception to that would probably be Claude Cowork, but even that has some pretty significant limitations. While the hire is strategic, the urgent story for operators is a catastrophic security failure. Listen to this: 93% of public OpenClaw instances are currently vulnerable, leaking sensitive emails, calendars, and millions of API keys. Entrepreneurs must treat AI agents like new employees, vetting them thoroughly and budgeting for secure hosted services rather than relying on risky, unmanaged DIY systems. The other thing that was really interesting about OpenClaw is it was open source. And the issue with open source technology is there's nobody that, not that there's nobody that can be held accountable, there's nobody with pockets deep enough to matter. If Anthropic does something that ruins your life, you can sue Anthropic. You can't sue OpenClaw. The deeper pattern, according to Matt Wolf, the battle for AI dominance has moved from large models to the agent layer, where autonomous execution creates massive efficiency but introduces existential security risks for unvetted businesses. Keep an eye on the agentic AI. And this this new hire, I should say, by OpenAI, this puts them back in the running. They had been falling behind. OpenAI was lagging from an innovation standpoint significantly. And now all of a sudden, it looks like they're back on the map. And we're going to see a lot of this. I don't know if y'all remember, but Mark Zuckerberg put out a $100 million bounty on AI engineers, stealing AI engineers from OpenAI. And if memory serves, he got a handful of them. Imagine a $100 million payday, plus who knows what the comp package is on top of that. So there's going to be a lot of this going back and forth. Next story comes from 20VC, from Harry Stebbings. Klarna's CEO declares, quote, SaaS is dead in an AI agent world. Klarna CEO Sebastian, something I can't pronounce but looks Polish, argues that agentic AI will make software creation nearly free and reduce data migration costs to zero, effectively killing traditional SaaS moats. I never really thought about the data migration, but that's such a good point. One of the things that keeps people committed to SaaS tools forever is just the fact that they've been using the damn tool forever, and there's all of this data, and it would be too hard and too tedious to migrate the data away. With AI, that's not a problem at all. Going back to the article, the new competitive advantage is no longer the software tools you use, but your proprietary high-quality data and your ability to switch vendors seamlessly. Klarna has already proven this model by cutting its workforce from 7,000 to 3,000. Gosh, while increasing pay per head through aggressive AI integration. The deeper pattern here, businesses are re-architecting into AI native companies in a box, moving away from vendor lock-in towards centralized data that agents can use across any platform. Um, your SaaS tools, audit your SaaS tools. There's a and increase efficiency. You know, it's a dual lever there. Save money, make money. Next article comes from TechCrunch. Vibe coding startup emergent hits $100 million ARR in 8 months. An Indian startup, y'all. Indian is all over the AI map right now. The Indians are doing it. They were falling behind. It was U.S. and China, and suddenly all we're doing is hearing from India over and over and over again. The AI summit was held in India. There's a bunch of compute being built in India. Indian startup emergent, a no-code platform for building business apps, reached $100 million in annual recurring revenue just 8 months after launch. Vibe coding, I think, is the one tool everybody really should be focusing on. As a matter of fact, I got both of my children's subscriptions to Vibe coding applications. My eldest son wanted Base 44 and my youngest son wanted Bolt. All I did was open them all and then have them play with it. And I just bought them whatever UI they were most comfortable with. Because I figured, especially at their age, I'd get them what works the best for them. Because they all basically do the same thing. I know a bunch of Vibe coders are going to send me hate mail for that, but they know it's true. Interestingly, better than anybody I know. I also happen to own one of the largest vibe coding incubators in the world. We just crossed 3,000 member mark. You can join for free. Go to vcinc.ai if you want to learn vibe coding for free. Rapid fire. OpenAI's GPT 5.3 Spark rapid prototyping, a new model demoed creating a playable browser game from scratch in just 50 seconds. Why it matters. Collapse of idea to prototype timelines make rapid validation a standard business expectation. If you haven't played with GPT 5.3, do it. EU blacklists Turk and Caicos, Vietnam. The EU added these jurisdictions to its non-cooperative tax blacklist. Expect immediate scrutiny and higher compliance costs of doing business with entities in these countries. I know if you're a small business, you hear stuff like that and you're like, oh, that doesn't really apply to me. I promise y'all, it applies to you. Here's what's going to start to happen because we've never put ourselves in a position where data sovereignty mattered so much. We're gonna find digital moats in a way that the internet hasn't had. It actually goes back to pre-internet. We're looking at like old school, World War I era statecraft because with AI and the new sensitivity around data sovereignty is going to be so important. From Business Wire, this is a cool one. LinkedIn AI subscription hub for SMBs. LinkedIn launched a $99 a month hub with AI assistance that includes prospecting and recommendations. I think LinkedIn is a cesspool in so many ways, but the people I know that use LinkedIn really well get a ton out of it. And that's probably because the cesspool is a bunch of people doing low-end outreach when if you're actually willing to do high-end prospecting, there's really real money to be made. And from Wall Street Journal, I don't know why this makes me happy, but it does. The CEO turnover hits highest rate since 2010. 1 in 9 CEOs were replaced last year due to AI, tariffs, and geopolitical uncertainty. Whoa, 1 in 9. I wonder what they mean. 1 in 9 out of what? I need to dive into that article. Is it, out of what? The Fortune 5,000? Like 1 in 9 out of who? From Business Wire, Meta's Andromeda AI ad engine, new AI retrieval system ignited 24% revenue growth despite overall growth moderation. Why it matters, platform efficiencies rewarding founders who optimize creative for AI-driven precision matching. The way to play Meta right now is just produce a ton of ads, tons and tons and tons of ads, which is really funny because that was the way to play Meta 10 years ago. I was on the phone with Molly Pittman the other day and she was laughing. She's like, dude, this was our old school ad narrative way back in the day. It was create hundreds, if not thousands of ads. So this has been the Daily Sigh. This is my attempt at catching you up on everything that matters in business and maybe even your entrepreneurial life. Shout out to Gafran, who said it's 4 a.m. here and I'm just listening to you. I appreciate you, brother. I hope it was worth it. Jenner says, hey, Jenner. I see Doreen, Interrockstar, Sabster King, and I'm remote, y'all. I don't know if you can tell, and so my live feed is a little less robust than normal. Forgive me if I'm not shut live inside of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and LinkedIn. Although I'm thinking about swapping YouTube for Ticket to Talk. The Ticket to Talk. If you want the Daily Side delivered to your inbox, Go to dailysigh.ai. You can get it daily and or weekly. It's entirely up to you. And I will keep you updated on everything that matters in business, AI, markets, policy, etc. I go live every single business day at 6 p.m. Eastern. I hope you tune in. Duncan says you're driving and reading. No, I am being driven and reading. I'm not, I am with my autonomous agent right now, who's driving me around. No, I'm in the passenger side of a Kia Soul. That's how fancy I am. I go live every day, every weekday at 6 p.m.